Hey, good morning. We're outside. Hey, I just got a text. Someone wants to know if I want a donut. I'm going to ignore that. That's my kids often do it. Hey, Ginger Bratzel here with you, and where we help you get and keep more of your ideal customers, patients, and clients. And I thought about being outside today, and I'm going to take full advantage of it. So I did a little test earlier to make sure we could do that. So if you were in there earlier with me, that's what we were doing. And I just said I was doing a test. It's a beautiful day. I can be outside. The contractors are gone. They left yesterday. So if you've been following me, I was talking about last week that we had a bunch of people here working, and they're gone. So a 3-day job turned into a 7-day job, and it was supposed to be certain hours during the day, and my kid keeps texting me pictures of him and my dog out and about. But anyway, so it turned into a full day, all weekend, early mornings. They worked till sunset, till the sun was gone, and then they're wrapped up. So I'm excited that is over. I'm excited they're out of my hair. They did a great job, but it was just more than we wanted. In fact, yesterday I was working, my office is in a loft on the second floor, a little more than second floor. Let's call it floor and a half, 2.5 up, because where the loft is. And so they were working on the roof line up there, and I had the dogs up with me, which you might hear one of them. And the guy was in the window and scared the crap out of her, and she went nuts. And if she could have jumped out that window, she would have. That's my Penny. She's my protector, and she was being Cujo. So good to have them done. So as I'm enjoying my day, I hope you're enjoying your day. If you're seeing patients, if you're a healthcare provider, if you are working from a home office, you're still in that mode, or you overseeing your small business, whatever you're doing, kudos to you. Keep doing your thing. And I wanted to spend some time on being results driven versus action driven, and kind of, they seem like they could be the same thing, but they're not. And I want to break that down. And so during all the contractors too, they were supposed to be going. I was in a virtual event that got rescheduled from last year, and so they made it virtual this year, and then everything opened up, and so we had an opportunity to go live or not, and it just wasn't enough time for me to do it. So I attended virtually. I will always pick in person because you have more skin in the game. If that's you, always do in person too. But I spent 3 days with the contractors, all the banging and all that stuff, and we were really breaking down planning for quarters. We were talking about getting your message out there. So for your business, your message is not a tagline. It is what you do. So your message is what problem you solve. Write this one down. What problem you solve, who you solve it for, and how you're going to take them through the process. And I'm not talking about a lot of steps. So for instance, for me, so I solved a problem for service providers, healthcare providers, small businesses, getting and keeping more clients. And that's who I serve. That's what I do. And the process we go through is finding them solutions that work for their environment, that are not cookie cutter, to make it easy so they can do the action steps to get the results they want. So I use 2 words in there. So your actions in this society tends to be busy work. That's why I want you to get away from thinking about actions. I am a bullet planner. You go through any store if you're a lady, and you see all the planners out there, and they have all these things about, they give you 20 things that you need to do that day, and you feel like you're compelled to fill that out. It's pretty. You get to write your nice cursive, your fancy pens, and then you make that check mark to get it off. And so that feeds your dopamine center of rewards. They think that you got something done. And you could have just wasted your whole day. You could have wasted a lot of time. You could have wasted a lot of money on that planner. And it's not about doing it. So we want to be more results driven. So when I go through, planning my day, I have the big 3, and these are all results driven things. They have to have a purpose when I get done, not just that I just did them. But there's some things that fall into that action level. So I have important and urgent. I have 2 lists, and that's a to-do list. And those sections are that little, because if I'm so focused on those, I'm not going to do the big one. And when I write those big 3, for the day of results driven, I mean, they might have a big heading on it, but there might be 20 steps underneath it. So I don't want to get fed up on it. I'm looking at the final results. So, for example, here's a good one. So let's say you're looking at branding. That's a tag word right now. I'm looking at branding for my business. I'm going to do new logos. We're going to work on some custom colors. Okay, if that is not bringing direct action or direct results in, then that's an action thing. And you probably would need to reconsider doing that, because you're spending time, energy, and money and focus, which is your really most important resource, your focus. You will never reach that result. Nobody got rich off a logo. It's recognizable. The logo, you have to put 15 things in there to make it results driven. So if it's that far removed, what other thing could you be doing to get you closer to the results? And that's what the gist of this whole thing. What's the simplest thing you can do to results? So instead of, I'm going to build a logo, we're going to stick with that example. So hopefully somebody sees my business, or somebody I want to work with that has a neighboring business, to get their attention, where they would contact me and recommend me to my clients. I don't know if you heard my dog Penny. I can hear her right behind me growling and rolling in the grass. I don't know. See her head, her little head? She's just rolling behind me. So what things could you do to speed up that process? If you want to get in front of somebody that you need to get in front of to have that conversation, and sometimes it's a difficult conversation about how you can work together potentially, how you could make things happen, and how you can serve their audience and you can serve their audience, then you do that sooner. Don't worry about the graphic design, the branding, the colors, and all that stuff. That gives you the false impression that you're moving forward. It's got to be results driven. So look for the shortest path to the cash. I know I've said that before, and most people are like, I put this out and I sell this. No, and your shortest path to the cash is the result you get. If you do X in the least number of steps, will that get you the results you need to? So I want you to start kind of thinking that way. That's what I want you to do. So don't get sucked into the feeling of getting stuff done, and because that's action, and I want you to focus more on results. Now I will tell you where that big action things comes across. That is an employee mentality, is action steps, the checkbooks. So your boss tells you to do X, Y, and Z because you are supporting their goal, which is a result. And if you don't want people sitting around and doing nothing, so you give them steps, you give them actions, you give them tasks to do. And that gives you the false security if you're getting closer to your goals. There's a certain amount of work that has to be done. But if you're results driven, you're actually going to find out you need to do less stuff. You're going to do more important stuff and more intentional, calculated stuff. But you're not going to have to put all those extra things in. So again, result driven, which you want. Action driven can suck the energy, time, energy, money out of you. There's Miss Penny. I see her behind me. So that's your tip of the week. I don't want to call it tips because that's so much bigger than a tip. That's a huge strategy. That's a whole mindset shift that will take you from being struggling and stuck and stagnant to rewards and results. So that's where you want to get. So switch your thinking, be results driven in everything you do it, and see if it's going to get you close to the purpose. And if not, reconsider. You probably don't need to do it, or you can put it off, or you can delegate it to somebody else. So this is Ginger. That's Penny back there before she goes crazy. Signing off, and I'll talk to you again, and we will move your business closer to help you get those more clients, customers, and patients that you want. Take care. Bye-bye.